Let's hit the field.
It is Thursday, October 2nd. Game 3 of the wild card round between the Yankees and the Red Sox, and it was winner take all. Cam Schlittler versus Connolly Early, a battle of two rookie pitchers. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Sorry for the delay. I have never had that happen on my streaming software before. It said it couldn't connect to the host because I wasn't connected to the internet. We were trying to get our guy TK. TK, if you want to call in, maybe we can get you on the broadcast here. But welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Yankees advance to the American League Division Series. What an amazing, amazing comeback in this series. The Yankees win 2 in a row after dropping a very, very tough Game 1. Val and NY says, bye, Beantown. And, baby, that was amazing. Cam Schlittler tonight was as good as we have ever seen a rookie. Maybe as good as we've ever seen a Yankees pitcher in the postseason. And I got to give him a round of applause here. And we got a comment here from Aaron Gossage who says that may be the most obvious belt winner in the history of this channel. And you're probably right. But what a fantastic outing. I'll zoom out and talk about the series at large in just a minute. But tonight, Cam Schlittler was channeling Garrett Cole, Roger Clemens, Yankees of old. This was one of the most outstanding pitching performances that we have ever seen as Yankees fans. And to do it against the Red Sox in a do-or-die game, impervious to pressure. What a night for Cam Schlittler. What a night for the Yankees. Brian Bashman says, Juan Soto, the Mets are the team with the better future. He doesn't know Schlitt. And then Louis Penafiel with the $20 super chat says, yo, my man, Yankees win. What a performance by Schlittler. Tonight's belt is his. On to Toronto. We're going after the Jays. Enjoy your night, friend. See you Saturday. And then Ian 1216 says, Schlitt happens. Buck Foston. I love it. What a night. So a few things. This is one of those games that the momentum from a win like this can carry you on deep into the playoffs. I mean, this is the type of game that energizes an entire team that, I don't even know how to put it into words correctly. It lifted the spirits of the entire city, I'm sure. It lifted my spirits. When he came out of the gate tonight, throwing nothing but cheddar, 100 plus, 6 times in the first inning, you just knew something special was going to happen. I got to give a shout out to Connolly Early, who, he started off the game pretty well, but unfortunately for him, Schlittler was just a lot better, and the Red Sox, while they made a valiant effort, they came up just a little bit short. All right, let's go ahead and get to the recap. We got a lot of calls to get to tonight.
Let's get it going.
Man, that was scary that I couldn't start the stream. I've never had that happen with my software. I think maybe we had so many people waiting in the chat that it overloaded the system. We had like 600 or 700 people waiting for the stream to begin. And I've never had that happen before here. We got a few more super chats here. Ian 1216 says David Portnoy is already in the corner crying. And then Sean Massa says, a star is born. DC64 with the super chat. Paris Grubb says, no walks, no problems. And then Danny Gibson with the super chat. And then Brian Bashman, no Boston Trolls in the chat tonight, huh? There were a lot of them here on after Game 1. But tonight, no one to be found from Boston in this chat unless they're sporting the NY on their chest. So, top of the first inning, you could tell that Cam came out pumped up. 100-mile-an-hour pitch after 100-mile pitch. He touched 101. He got two quick pop outs, and then Ben Rice dropped one in foul territory, and I did one of these, like hands over my face, like the Picard meme, and I'm thinking, oh no, it's gonna be one of those nights, easy. I was thinking, what if the inning unravels here? But to Cam's credit, he settled in and he got the strikeout and just completely dominated from there forward. And you know who it reminded me of? And David Cohn mentioned this later in the game. Josh Beckett, former Red Sox pitcher, but when he was with the Marlins. This is the type of game that he pitched against us in the World Series. Just cheese all night long. It was phenomenal to watch. Bottom of the second inning, Giancarlo Stanton hit one 114.5 off the bat. Hit the left field wall. He stood there watching. He says, let's effing go. And then when he realized it didn't hit the wall, you could read his lips. He goes, oh shit. And maybe he said, oh Schlitt. Maybe he was just trying to pump up Cam Schlittler. If he did, it worked. But, he was kind of dogging it out of the box because I think he thought that it was gone. And he didn't hustle. He somehow got to second. I didn't think he was going to get to second. The way he was running, I was surprised he got there.
You ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dane.
Bellinger, the complete opposite approach. He was hustling on a pop-up later in the game, and he ended up at second base with nobody out. And, he ended up limping off the field later in the game, and that's got me a little bit concerned. That's my one concern of the entire evening, is that Bellinger looked like he might have gotten hurt. So we're going to find out from the postgame from Aaron Boone what exactly is wrong with Bellinger. And hopefully he's okay. I love Cody Bellinger. I love how much he hustles. I love how he plays actual baseball. The guy is a gamer, and he just had a tremendous season with the Yankees. Hopefully he is not out for any length of time. Hopefully it was a cramp or a foul ball off his foot. I don't remember one, but it could have happened. But I fear that it could be something worse. So keep an eye on that. Jazz had a good night. He had a couple of hits. He singled. Volpe continued his hot series with a seeing eye single to right field. It's almost like Volpe intentionally sandbagged the entire season. It's almost like he was like sandbagging so that they would actually pitch to him in the playoffs, because he has become a completely different player. And he's been not only great offensively, but he's been great defensively in this series. Volpe hit .364 with a 1,000 OPS. He had the same OPS as Ben Rice, and he was just tremendous on defense. He made a couple of nice plays again tonight. Fun at bat for Austin Wells with the bases loaded. Definitely not trying to hit a single. Definitely not trying to bloop one, into left field. This guy was going for the downs. He ended up hitting one off the first baseman's glove. It trickled away. It ended up being a couple of runs for the Yankees, made it 4-0. Stadium was up for grabs, ruled an error, but who cares? Who cares at this point, right? Runs are all that matters. You're not worried about stats at this point. I didn't care about the Judge thing being ruled a hit rather than an error. That should have been an error the other night. Maybe this was a makeup call. I don't know, but it is what it is. 2 runs for the Yankees, and that made it 4-0. Sixth inning, Trevor Story led off with a base hit, but a fantastic play at second base by Anthony Volpe to get the force out. Just an amazing, amazing series for him. Honestly, if it weren't for the performance by Cam Schlittler tonight, I might say that Volpe would be like our little series MVP, just the way he was consistent in all 3 games, and maybe he was. Maybe he was. Let me know in the chat who you guys think would be the overall series MVP. And then Mark Peterson says, after the McMahon catch tonight, no one else plays third until he says he doesn't want to guard the hot corner. And to use the reference, pay that man his money!
Pay that man his money.
Schlittler came back out for the 6th inning. He ended up getting the 10th punch out, and that, I believe, made him the first rookie to punch out 10 in a do-or-die game, but he was not done. He ended up going 8 innings. He struck out 12. They ran him out there with 100 pitches. He responded with his 12th strikeout. Then McMahon made the unbelievable Derek Jeter-like play. He ran 75 feet and dove into the dugout, made a phenomenal catch. Here's our guy, Shane.
Stellar defense.
Stellar defense. Yankees hang on to win. They win the series. Let's go.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
I'm with James. He says 8 innings, no runs. Isn't it enough for MVP? I agree. I think he's the MVP, not only of the game, but of the series. You know, typically, when we give out the belt, there's a little bit of suspense. You know, there are games throughout the season, you know, somebody hits 3 home runs, somebody hits a grand slam in a big spot, you know, and then there's nights like this where a pitcher just completely dominates and it becomes obvious who is the belt winner. And tonight, it is Mr. Cam Schlittler in his Yankees postseason debut. We even got a new picture for him. And we decided at the end of the season, we were going to include the postseason in the belt tally. So we got 11 for Jazz. He is your leader because he got one last night. And now Cam Schlittler in just, I guess, 15 starts, you know, if you include the regular season, already has tied Will Warren with 4 belts. So, you know, Cam Schlittler did something tonight that we rarely see anymore. 8 shutout innings. In a day where pitchers do not typically go deep, right? This man put the Yankees on his back and carried us to the next round. What a job. Let's go ahead and zoom in and talk a little bit more about his outing. And here's another thing that's impressive about tonight. 0 walks. Big goose egg in the walk category. Just absolutely pristine performance tonight. And I believe his last outing of the regular season was similar. I think he went like 6 or 7 innings and 1 run or no runs. I think he had 9 strikeouts. I believe that was against the Orioles. I can't remember. My brain is frazzled right now, but he was dominating then. He was dominating now. Shades of Garrett Cole. Honestly, the way that he was dialing that fastball up at the top of the zone, it reminded me of not even Garrett Cole with the Yankees, Garrett Cole with the Astros. That's who it reminded me of. I mean, it was riding up in the zone. They had no chance, just overpowered the Red Sox. And, I mean, the only guy who had any answer for him really was Masataka Yoshida, who had a couple of hits, who, by the way, Boston fans didn't like for a long time, but he hit 571 in this series. Contact-oriented guy, good hitter. But there were so many guys coming into this series that worried me. Bregman, he went 0 for 3 tonight, but he did have an 862 OPS for the series. Raffaello was red hot. He didn't get a single hit in this series tonight. He went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. His OPS in the series, 167. Narvaez went 0 for the series. Abreu went 0 for the series. Duran hit 091 in the series. So the Yankees pitching did their job. And now it's on to Toronto. So let's go ahead and zoom out and talk about this series at large. The takeaways here. Volpe has really turned it on. Volpe is having a great postseason, not only with the bat, but with the glove. He's fielding everything. He's making good throws. He's getting rid of the ball quickly like he did as a rookie. He's starting to show some of that rookie Gold Glove self again. Judge, he didn't do anything tonight. He was 0 for 3, but he hit 364 in the series. And you know what? Him and Stanton are like, I've been saying this, like ticking time bombs. If you can win a series without home runs from Judge or Stanton, that's really good because they're going to turn it on against Toronto. And Toronto, they're rested. They've had a chance to rest their pitching, rest their bullpen, but there's always that risk. A lot of teams that have that first round bye come out cold in the ALDS because they haven't, seen live pitching in a few days. And I'd have to imagine that the game 1 starter will be Luis Gil. You'd have to imagine it'll be him. I'd be tempted to start Ryan Yarbrough because, and I know that's going to cause some a little bit of a stir because he's one of these mix and match guys who can keep guys off balance. But then again, Luis Gil's a guy who throws 100 also. So, maybe everybody will be a little bit late. It'll be an interesting decision to see what they do. But I think I would ultimately probably go with Gil and just say, hey, Let's do what Cam Schlittler did. Watch that videotape and do exactly that. Don't walk anybody. Michael Joyner says, whole team gets the MVP award. Joe Higashi says, Juan Soto vacuuming out his luxury suite. Wow. Okay, so we got a bunch of super chats here that I want to get to. Kevin Beery says, Schlittler, jerseys, flying off the shelf. Good news. If you had a number 31 Ichiro jersey, it is now a Cam Schlittler jersey. Or Aaron Hicks. Not a lot of Aaron Hicks jerseys, I don't think. Aaron later says, was hoping for 6 with Cam, but got 8. We'll take that all day. Me too. Richard C. Great takes all year, says, same momentum builder as Kurt Schilling Bloody Sock game. This feels like Lincecum, Kane, Mad Bum. Great pitching can take us far. That is a great take by Richard C. Robert Ryan says, Cam was nails tonight. Zero emotion on his face. On the mound, the entire game, he must be working with Cole. I agree. We've seen pictures of him and Garrett Cole working together behind the scenes. And if Garrett Cole has been able to impart some of his knowledge on Cam Schlittler, who I've heard is a very, very smart man. Very, very smart, very coachable guy. Sky is the limit. You just hope that he stays healthy because that is like a once-in-a-lifetime arm. I've been watching the Yankees since 1987. I've been watching consciously, like really into it, since the early 90s, about 91, 92. I've seen pitching prospects come and go. I mean, you know, sometimes a pitching prospect is all hype. You know, Eric Milton was a big prospect that they traded for Chuck Knobloch. He never really he was kind of a league average pitcher. Phil Hughes and Jabba Chamberlain had some good days and some bad days. You know, Luis Severino had some good years. He struggled to go deep into the game when he first came up. You know, Michael King was up and down. He really turned into a really good pitcher, but he was never the top prospect. And Chen-Ming Wong was a guy who kind of came out of nowhere and just threw that bowling ball sinker. You see the arm on a guy like Cam Schlittler, and you just dream. How far can this guy go in his career? When you can throw strikes, and you can throw 100 with ride, with the high spin rate, and you've got some other pitches to go with it. Imagine if he develops like another breaking ball. I mean, you're talking about a Cy Young caliber pitcher, and you're talking about a guy who can help you get to the World Series. So now you look at the Yankees pitching, right? You got Max Fried, who was outstanding in Game 1. You got Carlos Rodon, who won 18 games and was more than solid yesterday. He went 6 innings and gave up 3 runs. And now, a bona fide number 3. I mean, if I had told you that Garrett Cole pitched that game, you would not have been surprised. That's how good it was. This was a masterclass. A masterclass. Boone, he faced some scrutiny in this series in Game 1, but that will be forgotten, at least until he screws up in the division series. We got a chat here from Mark Peterson says, we saw that one, sorry. We got Jacob Eric says, someone check on Juan Soto. Hopefully he got himself a nice set of golf clubs. Oh, man. Ruthless. Mark Peterson says, Menage a belt last night. Cam gets 3 individual belts tonight. And then Blockhead Audio, new member, says, Cam Schlittler renamed to Cam Shaft. Wow. And then Richard C. says, Cam plus the slider equals Jacob deGrom. I didn't even think about deGrom, but you're not wrong. That's the kind of fastball he has. 101 with ride. Unbelievable night for Cam Schlittler. Let's take some voicemails here.
Reaction. We're
pretty far into the show. Let's start with Mary Beth.
Hey, Derek, MB here. What a game. Okay, I don't usually do this, but here's a fact. Cam Schlittler is the first pitcher in Yankees postseason history to have a start with no runs, no base on balls, and 10-plus strikeouts.
Wow.
Holy moly. Oh, my goodness. Okay, go Yankees.
My only problem with that call, Mary Beth, is that you said holy moly, and you didn't go for the easy layup of holy Schlitt.
He's on fire!
Hey, Derek, this is Joe from Connecticut. Man, does this feel like the old times all over again. Oh, my God, that was Jeter-esque type flipping the dugout stands there. This is amazing. Schlittler, amazing. The fan base needed this so badly. So badly. Let's go, Yankees.
Inarudo says, I think Max is our ace next year. I mean, after tonight, the Yankees might have 3 aces. You know? I mean, I'm not even counting Rodon. Max, Schlittler, and Garrett Cole. And I might not be jumping the gun. I mean, you might say, oh, well, he's a rookie. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. I had Frankie Baseball go back and find it, and I haven't been able to upload it yet, but when Cam Schlittler pitched in spring training, it was the first game that we covered, the first game that was televised this year. I was watching this guy and I said, man, this kid is impressive. He's a big dude. You could tell that he had the ride on the fastball, but they didn't have the radar going. At least I don't remember the radar lighting up, but I figured it was about like probably 95 he was throwing. And then all you heard about when he was in the minor leagues and you saw the strikeout numbers was that he threw about 96 or whatever. And since he's been in the big leagues, he's been sitting 98 to 100. I don't know how you account for that. I mean, just the extra adrenaline? I don't know.
Cam Schlittler gets the belt, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, Cam Schlittler. No Schlitt. Here's David.
Hey, Derek, it's David from Fort Myers, Florida, and gosh, am I pumped as Schlittler just completed 8 innings. I think he deserves the belt, and I'm so happy Boone decided to keep him in. I gotta say, this was the best management that I've seen Boone do all year with the pitching. Now let's finish this and wrap up our first win against Boston in the playoffs since 2003.
Yeah, first Yankees series win against Boston since 2003. And like I was saying, we needed to reverse the reverse of the curse. And baby, I think that's what we did. But I want to give a shout out to Boston because they've got a lot of good young players on the way. We saw how good Roman Anthony was. He's obviously hurt and couldn't play in this series. Marcelo Meyer, same deal. So they ran into a little bit of bad luck. If they have those two guys, maybe this series even plays out differently because last night could have played out differently and the Red Sox could have swept. And I have a feeling that this is not the last time in the next several years that these two teams are going to match up in the postseason. So, great call.
Derek, Cam Schlittler. I wasn't expecting this. I thought he would be good. This I was not expecting. That is ace-type shit. Excuse my language. Have a good day.
Ace-type Schlitt. Ryan Dem says, I'm a Phillies fan, but my friend is a Yankees fan, and he watches to keep up with Yankees-related conversations. I want to give a shout-out to my buddy Rob Thompson. Not a baseball fan, but he watches some Yankee stuff, and he watches baseball, and he always tells me that it's important for friends to take an interest in their friends' activities, right? Because of him, I watch a lot of science stuff and things like that. So, Ryan, I get it. It's very important to take an interest in your friends' activities so that those conversations around the fire with a glass of whiskey can be all that much better. I'm going to have one of those tomorrow. Larry says, Maddox, Smoltz, Glavine, Fried, Cole, Schlitt. Compare it? Maybe a little bit early. I mean, you're talking about 3 first-ballot Hall of Famers right there. But promising pitching. We all know that pitching is the key to the playoffs. And seeing Schlittler respond like this leaves no doubt that he can perform in the postseason. And this is the second really good start he's had in a row. So we might be seeing a young player who has amazing physical abilities, amazing physical talents, blossom into a primetime big league performer on the biggest stage. There were a lot of eyeballs on this game tonight, baby, and he impressed. Here's Matt.
Hey, it's Matt from Jersey. I cannot believe we just watched Cam Schlittler, American 2027 Cy Young winner, pitch an almost complete, I mean, it's got to be the 9th, an almost, or if not, complete game of wild card to absolutely Schlitt on the Boston Red Sox.
I love it. I love it. Julio Guzman says, F you, Ben Affleck. I love it. And here is Milton, our guy Milton.
Hey, Derek, this is Milton. This is the bottom, the end of the 7th, 11 strikeouts. I don't think Cam is even sweating. I don't think he's broken a sweat yet. He's about as cool. This is unbelievable that a pitcher like that, just coming in a rookie, no experience in the postseason, is pitching as well as he is, and he is and he's still in the high 90s.
Yeah, I noticed that too. He didn't seem like he was tired. I would have been tempted. If I were Aaron Boone and I were in that dugout, I would have been tempted to send him back out there for the 9th inning. I'm not kidding. The 610 Stig with the super chat says, don't forget Boone going righty-lefty tonight too. He actually outmanaged Cora and gave him no lanes for his bullpen. Yeah, I thought tonight, Boone pushed a lot of the right buttons with the lineup. I know Ben Rice didn't do anything, but I liked going with the lefty and just giving him a shot. He did bring in Goldschmidt later in the game, and he picked up a base knock. Goldschmidt hit 600 in this series. He had a couple of hits off of Garrett Crochet. Man, that Yankees clubhouse has got to be feeling great right now. That flight to Toronto has got to be fantastic. Oh, man, I'm on such a high. This is like a drug. Here's Chris.
This is Chris, and that's the shit I'm talking about. We love Cam Schlittler! Woo!
Good call. Here's Eddie.
Oh, Mike. Derek, Eddie Trinidad here. I told you, man. I called it. Cam was going to have his Yankee moment. 12 Ks, 8 complete innings. Dear Lord, the future looks bright for that kid.
Oh, yeah.
For us Yankee fans. One more inning to go. Bednar is going to get the toughest 3 outs in baseball. That's 25, 26, and 27. Then we move on to Toronto. Let's go, Yankees.
Appreciate the call. So, okay, we got a comment here about Cody Bellinger. Somebody wanted to know if there's any update on Bellinger. I have not heard anything yet. If somebody hears something, let us know. I'm going to take a quick break for DraftKings, and we'll come back and wrap it up. Then I got to go watch Francesa. I got to see what Francesa has to say about this. Pressure is on, the lights are brighter, and with DraftKings Sportsbook, you're right there in the middle of every moonshot moment. DraftKings Sportsbook delivers the intensity of October with player props, live in-game betting, and odds that can change as fast as a ball flying over the fence. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get paid out $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code FOUL. That's code FOUL to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Minimum minus 500 odds required. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
All right, couple chats here. Marty says, hi from the UK, love the channel. 4 a.m. here celebrating a Hughes Yankees W. Cam was unreal, holy schlit. And then Will says, good game, but how can I get what you have in the background that displays the standings with the scores and the logos? Okay, so that is called, and my Yankees logo fell down. Oh my God, that must have been from me jumping up and down. I was pissed off when the stream wouldn't load, and I was stomping and just I didn't know what to do. I couldn't load the stream. It's never happened in 6 years now that I've been doing the show. That is called a glance scroll. You can find them on Amazon. They're about $300 or so. And I like it because, I can see the scores of the game when I'm watching myself. So if something's going on in a different game, I don't have to go down and check the scores. But it's great. And you can put on GIFs and stocks and subway times. See, we got the little rocket shift there. That's Jason Dominguez's home planet. Joey Gashi says, back after this. I love it. You guys are the best. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go watch Francesa and enjoy a nice, restful evening. Try and wind down. What a crazy night. Thanks to everybody who joined. One more time, Mr. John Sterling.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
Apologies to TK. I was trying to get TK on with you tonight. We were trying to set it up, but apparently there were some issues with Ecamm connecting to the server or whatever. And by the way, tonight I set out this Mickey Mantle card. This is a Mickey Mantle card from 1958, and I'm calling this my good luck charm. That is going to sit right there for the rest of the season because I put that out there probably third inning or whatever it was where the Yankees started scoring runs. And I put it out right before they immediately scored their run, and after that it was great. It was like just a perfect good luck charm. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to do a little series preview, and then Saturday we're going to have Jonna Perlinger from Babes Babe Media to do the pregame show, and then obviously postgame for Yankees versus Blue Jays, Game 1. And I think if the Yankees take Game 1, they're going to take the series because they will then steal home field advantage, come back to New York. We saw how much the stadium was rocking. I expect it to be rocking again in the ALDS. And baby, this feels good. This feels different. Let's go. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. Check out NYYDesigns.shop for some great merch. Support our sponsors. It helps keep the show going. And you can find us on all major audio platforms, so be sure to subscribe there too. But most importantly, come back again soon. We'll see you next time.